writer with 20 working languages, and this is where we talk about languages and language learning and all sorts of other stuff, and we play games. This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time, and we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks. Perfect. Okay, 3 of 4.
El hospital.
還元一級の先というのは、本当に誰も知らない字ばっかりでしょうね。私は Okay, we've leveled up and it is time to pick another language. Morfar är tröttare än vanligt. Maten är färdig. And let's see what we're doing when we get back. Greek. We're doing Greek when we get back. Fun fact. Turkish. Hello, Shakespeare. How you doing? Fun fact, in Spanish, the word for bishop in chess is alfil. And that actually comes from Arabic. Fil. The same word fil as this. Meaning elephant, because the bishop traditionally was to represent elephant units somehow. Similarly, in Russian, the word for bishop is squab, and that also means elephant. Okay. This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time, and we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks. Ça, c'est ça, que c'est ça, non ça, c'est ça, sol chi sa che nulla sa, ne sa più di chi ne sa. Ecco. Bonjour et bienvenue à Hyperpolyglotting avec Élise. Moi, c'est Élise, traductrice, éditrice et écrivain avec 20 ans de travail. Et ça, c'est la transmission en direct ou en jeu des jeux, surtout GeoGuessr en dernier temps. Et parle des langues, de la linguistique, de l'acquisition des langues. 10-159. Haven't made a huge dent in it, but we're getting there. Okay, gonna do some Chinese now. Night. Night. Come on. Yen. Yo. 5. Ducks are drinking wine. Bamba, okay, Bambas is duck. Okay, I have now leveled up. Let's see what the XP situation is now. 10,340 out of 12,500. And as always, viewers can choose my next language for me just with a follow and a $5 to my Patreon. Sotto le frasche del capanno 4 gatti grossi stanno. Sotto 4 grossi sassi, 4 grossi e grassi gatti. Un généreux déjeuner régénéré, dégénéré. Un généreux déjeuner régénéré, dégénéré. Facile. Sì, ecco, la gente... è la cosa che mi dice la gente, sempre che scoprisce che quante lingue parlo, io sempre avevo l'impressione, diciamo, di che non era così, non era tan così, ma poi, dopo di aver visto qualche poliglota in YouTube, una delle cose che avevo scoperte era giustamente che la metodologia usata da quella gente poliglota che non avevo mai conosciuta prima, era più o meno la stessa metodologia che usavo io. I buy a computer or what? Hello and welcome to Hyperpolyglotting with Elise. I'm Elise, translator, writer, and editor with 20 working languages, and this is the stream where we're going to play some GeoGuessr, and we're going to look at some more of the best and maybe not so best of language learning YouTube. And before we get started out, I just want to tell you how my day got started. So I was woken up at about 12:30 by one of these emergency mobile alerts. You know the ones? You get them in stereo if you've got more than one phone around. And this one said nothing but secure windows and doors. That's it. And like emergency level extreme, which is really informative because, like, hang on, that's not what I was trying to do. I mean, what does even secure windows and doors actually mean? It doesn't mean lock, because we've got a word for lock. That word is lock. But no, so it's not actually clear what that is, and it's no information about the nature of the emergency, or where it's going on, or who this is even from, or anything really. And then, so a half hour later, there's another one of these messages. Hello, Riveroon, and says. Sorry. It says, actually, that message was meant to just go out to Deerfield Township. Please stop calling 911. And still, no details on who this is from or what it's even about. You know, the emergency alerts that you get in your mobile, you know, the ones, sometimes it's an Amber Alert, but it can be other things as well. But this was just secure windows and doors, and then a half hours later, actually only if you're in Deerfield Township. And yeah, so then like another half hour or so later, it's another message that is saying that actually now it's canceled, it's localized to a particular street, nobody else needs to worry about it. And it turns out whoever did this in the first place sent this first message, just secure windows and doors, emergency level extreme, to the entire Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, tri-state area. Like over 1 million people. With no information. So apparently, I guess the 911 switchboards were getting completely jammed with people wanting to know what the hell was going on. And, calling and getting sent to switchboards where they would not actually have any idea because it was just some shit in Deerfield Township that nobody else knew about. And it turns out the Warren County Sheriff's Office had indeed provided additional information on Twitter. So, just an impressive shit show. And really, it hammered home one of the, fundamental problems with this emergency alert system that exists, which is that it does not automatically, by default, give you the name of the agency originating the alert. It could be fucking anyone. In fact, I mean, I seem to remember there being exploits that would allow literally anyone to push an alert like that to millions of people's mobile phones. But, so you don't have any idea who to call to find out what's even going on. And, yeah, so that was exciting. Okay, so time for some daily challenge. Okay. Let's see where we're going. Okay. Definitely not the US or Canada. Okay, that says stop. So not South America. There is a railway right there to our left. Thinking probably continental Europe. Dimi balls. Svezavashe. Blurred out. Okay. Kupatilo. Vela prodaya, mala prodaya. Okay, so we have Cyrillic and Latin alphabet both. Pekada. Urek, petsivo, pizza, chleb. So Serbia or Montenegro so far is looking most likely. I'm just gonna go with that. I think you get more of the Latin alphabet, or more of the Cyrillic in Montenegro actually, so let's just say not gonna be too far anyway. Serbia, 4195, not bad. Okay, the color of this building is already giving Latin America. Couldn't quite make that out. Okay, there's only one direction for us to go. Intercars. Piese și technologii. Automotive piese și technologii. Okay, no, not Latin America at all. We're in Romania. Abbruch und Baumanagement GmbH. I'm gonna say someplace near Bucharest. Other end of the country, still not too bad. Unipak. Big E. Okay, Nam Joseon, South Korea. Yeah, the whole thing, I mean, it was just enough information to cause a whole bunch of people to panic, and not enough information to be useful. Because what secure windows and doors means is going to depend on what you're securing them from. Like, is it, for example, okay, I'm gonna guess we're probably in Seoul, just statistically. Like, if it's, say, a chemical spill or something like that, and there are fumes they're warning people against. Any characters that tell us anything? The Three Little Pigs. Okay. Then that's going to mean one thing. But if it's like some fast fucker with a gun running around after a, you know, mass shooting or something like that, then it's going to mean a completely different thing. And they didn't say a damn thing. Like, it wasn't until actually after the whole thing had been canceled that we finally got some information about what it was about. And even that wasn't terribly informative. Right? Could we be in Catalonia, possibly? Oh, what the hell just happened? Escuela Walt Disney. Okay, now I'm not thinking Catalonia. Now I'm thinking maybe actually someplace in South America. Argentina, okay, 416 points, not a great score there, but I didn't really have a whole lot to go on. Okay, last one of this round. Odvietnik, Goran Debak, Vukovarska. Okay, that... yeah, okay. I'm thinking maybe Serbia, actually. Fontana. Kod Zeca. Istra, prirodna izvorska voda. Actually, no, not so much. Now, is that... that makes me feel like maybe Croatia, actually. I mean, the palm trees and just the very Adriatic feel to all of this. Croatia or Slovenia, maybe. Yeah, maybe Rijeka. Water looks amazing. Murek souvenir shops. Someplace touristy, clearly. Lashko. What is that for? What flag is that? I can get a better look at that, maybe. Hrvatska, okay. So we are in Croatia. I'm thinking Split. Nearly. Oh, it was only 17 kilometers off 49.45. Not too bad. Other than that one round where I was on the wrong end of South America. Did pretty well. How you doing, Riveroon? Okay. Hard to say. I mean, this could be European, but also not. Actually, now I'm starting to think Amsterdam. Prinsessekade. Kede. Denmark, maybe. Nee, not Denmark. Van Limburg Stierenstraat. Okay, definitely not. The Duin van Maasdamstraat. Oh, well, I mean, exciting way to start the day, but otherwise pretty good. Day before the... Okay. Yeah, not Denmark. We're in the Netherlands, I think, fairly certainly. Ben and Jerry's advert, apparently. Yeah, yellow number plates, so definitely the Netherlands. Ah, not too bad. 49-42. Okay, this is definitely not the Netherlands. Subasta ganadera de Agua Chica. Okay. Petromil. I'm not sure. I've never seen Petromil before. Petrobras, yes. See that all over the place, but not Petromil. Okay, so some sort of a motorway here. Very green. Not a desert sort of place then. Wait, okay. Expresso Brasilia. Oh well, that is a long distance bus, so I don't necessarily think that that means that we're going to be, that we're in Brazil. That sign was in Spanish. Okay, to me, that is possibly a vote for Argentina, actually. Okay, there was a sign there. And what does it say? Wuturama. Ni idea. It's a pretty area. We got some mountains in the background. I mean, I guess, let's see. I mean, Paraguay is a possibility, though I've never had Paraguay on GeoGuessr. I don't know if Paraguay is an option. Uruguay definitely is an option. And I definitely have had Uruguay on GeoGuessr. San Martín, Pailitas. Okay, now we're facing the right way. Agua Chica, Bocoña, Cerro de los Chivos. Garupá, San Ignacio, Campo Grande, pero Agua Chica, weón. Puerto Libertad, Ñacunday. Comandante Andresito. El Soberbio. Like the arrogant. Churucua, San Gabriel. Barranquilla. Barranquilla. Okay, wrong country entirely. As if we're 414 kilometers south, I guess. Wait a second. Valledupar, Santa Marta, Barranquilla. So we're 280 kilometers from Valledupar, which is right here. Bocoña. El Copey, Cuatro Vientos, Mariangola, El Difícil, Codazzi. Hacienda Guanani. Okay. So, there's Barranquilla. And what direction are we going in? North. So, Valledupar and Santa. Okay. So, 280 south of Valledupar. Cuatro Vientos, La Palmita. Okay, it's got. Okay, so we've got the sign for Bocoña that we're like passing through or near anyway. I'm trying to make sense out of the sign because the sign suggests that there must. Okay, clearly the road. There's a fork in the road because you can't like Valledupar if you're going north south. Is not going to. I mean, there it's like the opposite side of that peninsula. Well, the beginnings of a peninsula there. So, and we're near Pailitas. Okay. Okay, I think we got it. Damn it. $49.90. Not bad. Okay, and now I feel like this is Southeast Asia, but it could be wrong. So far we're not seeing it. Round 3 of 5. We were just in Colombia. No, well, I wasn't too terribly far off. That is Bengali. Can't really read Bengali. So it's either, this is either in West Bengal, in India, or we are in Bangladesh. If we're in Bangladesh, we're almost certainly in Dhaka. Yep, 49-15. 4 of 5, okay. This kind of feels British. That is my vague impression off of not a whole lot. Just this narrow road, the white markings on it, not a whole lot going on it. Hard to say. But I feel like this is British. Oh hey, what did that say? Footpath. Okay, yes. So far it's checking out. Police. Okay. Oh no, not police. Deuce. And it says slow there. We have a bunch of signs that we're coming up on. It's okay, give way, not Northampton, Harpole, A45. Okay, so we're near the M4. That puts us west of London. Yeah, this is the M4. It goes from London to Cardiff and places beyond. But this is what we're after, is the A45. Northampton and Harpole. Okay, there's Northampton. A43. A428, A44, A421, A5, Stow on the Wold, Bicester, Leighton Buzzard, what a great place name there. What was it called in Harpole, right? Yeah. A41. Kyneton. There's one of those in Victoria. A45, there we go. Dunchurch, Daventry. Property, Wiedenbeck, A5. Long Itchington. There's a place name for you. Long Itchington. That sounds wonderful. I'd like to go to Long Itchington. But there were more signs, and I think we should look at all of them. No access to Furnace Lane. Use A5 except for loading. So the A5 and the A45 come together here. That suggests that we are in Wiedenbeck. Toaster. Oh, there's Harpole. Okay, yeah, that works. $49.89. Actually, we were in between Upper Hayford and Nether Hayford. Not too far from Bugbrook and Badby. Yeah, great place names. Upper Shuckborough. Prior's Hardwick. Ladbroke. Pixel art. Blue backgrounds on those signs make me think vi hjälper dig till ett aktivt liv. Okay, Sverige. Urban Sweden. Vi utvecklar, bygger, äger och förvaltar hus. Humidus. Okay, so Sweden, someplace in Sweden. I mean, this urban Stockholm is obviously one possibility. Södersjukhuset. Varumottagning. Ambulance. Okay, yeah, this seems like maybe we're in Södermalm in Stockholm. My personal knowledge of Stockholm is limited to the airport. Södertälje, Enköping, Sickla. Östermalm. Södermalm, okay. Is there a Södersjukhus anywhere on here? Hamnvatten. Danviken. Stockholms moské. Kvarteret Tobaksmonopolet. The Tobacco Monopoly Neighborhood. House of Shapes. Like, you can go and, like, Get shapes, I guess. All the geometry you want. What I want to know is there in fact a hospital by that name in Södermalm? Alltid nere med positiv energi. Sorry. Gäller även buss i beställningstrafik och taxi. Tom Tits experiment. Okay. Could be Södertälje. Ah, here we go. Södersjukhuset. Okay, so someplace around here. 49.99, almost perfect. Like literally, the only reason I know that Södermalm is a place in Stockholm is like reading Swedish crime novels, specifically the Millennium Trilogy. Okay. Europe car. Réservé depuis l'appli Europcar. Okay, probably in France. Like, I changed planes once in Stockholm on the way to Helsinki, but other than that, affichage administratif, avis d'enquête publique. Okay. Okay, this signs, yeah. Here we go. Europar les Sarrasins, Église Saint-Pierre du Lac, Gymnase N-Payou, Lycée Gutenberg. Rue des Sarrasins. Créteil. C'est à Paris, non? Sergi, Saint-Denis. Ah, Créteil, ouais. En effet. Rue Pasteur, rue de Mézy, quai de la Pie. René Arcos. Pasteur. Les Sarrasins. Rue de Roquinet, rue de Petit-Bois, rue des Fontenelles, Mauriac, Saint-Simon, Sareil, Gallieni, Plaison, Chéry, rue de la Prairie, Île de la Gruyère, Cheese Island. That's on brand. Avenue de la République, rue du Départ, la Charrière, rue des Écoles, rue des Sarrasins. Mais Salvador Allende. Rue de la Commune. Rue des Sarrasins, on l'a trouvé. Okay. There we go. And it's a small one too, so we should do pretty well on this. $49.99. Okay. We are potentially on track to break my personal record now. That is a good start. Okay, this feels kind of Canusa. Join MemphisFire.com. Okay. That's a pretty good sign that we're in the US. We're apparently, I'm guessing we're in Memphis. Is where else are they going to have ads to encourage people to join the Memphis Fire Department? Okay, but let's see if we can... come up with something a little bit more definitive. I mean, we're in some kind of a crap industrial estate kind of place. Lots of containers. So, but we're in some part of Memphis. Some distinctly unlovely part of Memphis. Fields Avenue. Condemned house. Florida, straight Florida and Fields. Greater Open Door Baptist Church. Well, great. Okay, I wouldn't. Open Door sounds like the name of the church, actually, but Greater Open Door makes me wonder if there's a neighborhood in Memphis called Open Door, maybe. Orange Mound, White Station, Cooper Young, Pinnacle Point, Wind Dyke, Coro Lake. Stanky Creek Trails. Stanky Creek, there's the name. Okay, Old Dominion Freight Line. I mean, that seems like something that would be nearby with all those, all of those, freight containers and things. Chulahoma, Swinia. A truck parking club. Like for people whose whole thing, they're not interested in driving the trucks, but they love parking them. Nutbush. Okay. You do you, Memphis. Dark Eyes Vodka and check cashing. Very full service joint. Parkway, Florida and Parkway. I feel like I saw Parkway. Park Avenue, Dead Rick Avenue, named after a guy called Rick who's dead. Ridgeway, Kirby. Okay, wherever this is, I don't think it's near a country club. BNSF Railway, that sounds a little bit more likely. Mendenhall, Shelby, Rains, Hickory Hill, Berry Pick. Ridgeway, Balmoral, Quince, Willow, New Willow, Getwell Road. Oh, there's Parkway. Okay, Parkway and Roselle, Barksdale, Oaklawn. Oh, okay, I think we may be there. Okay, where's that sign? Is that... Yeah, South Parkway West. Okay. So, South Parkway East. Here we go, South Parkway West. There's Florida. Kentucky, Trigg, Macklemore. Look, Fay. I believe we started out at Florida and Fields. Or fairly near that anyway. There's the truck parking club. Florida and Ashby. Okay. Colorado, DeSoto, Crump. Front Street, which I know from everything I know about Memphis, other than like Elvis related things that I've picked up here and there, comes essentially entirely from the firm. There we go. There's Fields in Florida, just south of Parkway, which makes sense. Okay. And after this, I'm going to take a quick bio break. Okay. There we are, Florida and Fields. 49.97, still on track for that record. And now I'm going to take a little bio break. Be right back. Hi, and welcome to Hyperpolyglotting with Elise. I am Elise, translator, editor, and writer with 20 working languages. And this is where we talk about languages and language learning and all sorts of other stuff. And we play games. This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time. And we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks. Perfect. Okay, 3 of 4. 還元一級の先というのは本当に誰も知らない字ばっかりでしょうね。私は Okay, we've leveled up and it is time to pick another language. Morfar är tröttare än vanligt. Maten är färdig. And let's see what we're doing when we get back. Greek. We're doing Greek when we get back. Fun fact. Turkish. Hello, Shakespeare. How you doing? Fun fact, in Spanish, the word for bishop in chess is alfil. And that actually comes from Arabic. Fil. The same word fil as this. Meaning elephant, because the bishop traditionally was to represent elephant units somehow. Similarly, in Russian, the word for bishop is squab, and that also means elephant. Okay. This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time. And we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks. Ça, c'est ça, ça, que c'est ça, non ça, c'est ça, sol qui sa, che nulla sa, e sa più di chi ne sa. Ecco. Bonjour et bienvenue à Hyperpolyglotting avec Elise. Moi, c'est Elise, traductrice, éditrice et écrivain avec 20 ans de travail. Et ça, c'est la transmission en direct ou en jeu des jeux. Surtout GeoGuessr en dernier temps. Et parle des langues, de la linguistique, de l'acquisition des langues. 10-159. Haven't made a huge dent in it, but we're getting there. Okay, gonna do some Chinese now. Nej. Nej. Man. Igen. Jo. 5. Ducks are drinking wine. Barbaz, okay, Barbaz is duck. Okay, I have now leveled up. Let's see what the XP situation is now. 10,340 out of 12,500. And as always, viewers can choose my next language for me just with a follow and a $5 to my Patreon. Sotto le frasche del capanno 4 gatti grossi stanno. Sotto 4 grossi sassi, 4 grossi e grassi gatti. Un généreux déjeuner régénéré des généraux dégénérés. Un généreux déjeuner régénéré des généraux dégénérés. Facile. Sì, ecco, la gente, è la cosa che mi dice la gente, sempre che scoprisce che quante lingue parlo, io sempre avevo l'impressione, diciamo, di che non era così, non era tan così, ma poi, dopo di aver visto qualche poliglota in YouTube, una delle cose che avevo scoperte era giustamente che la metodologia usata da quella gente poliglota che non avevo mai conosciuta prima, era più o meno la stessa metodologia che usavo io. I buy a computer or quack, and here's another example. I like to point these out. For this word for or, quack sounds vaguely like Hogun and the hok in Hogun in Korean or waku in Japanese, and that's used as the exact same kind of character.
Okay, let me see.
Un chasseur, ça son chassé. Ses chassés sont son chien de chasse.
Der dicke Dach.
Okay, der dicke Dachdecker deckt dir dein Dach, drum dank dem dicken Dachdecker, dass der dicke Dachdecker dir dein Dach deckt. Hola y bienvenidos al directo de Hyperpolyglotting with Elise. Yo soy Elisa, traductora, escritora y editora y comunicadora social con más de 20 idiomas de trabajo. Y aquí vamos a estar jugando videojuegos, sobre todo GeoGuessr, y hablando de idioma, la mejor forma de aprenderlo y caleta más. Zwei Zwetschgenzweigen zwitscherten zwei tschechische Schwalben. Tres tristes tigres tragaban trigo en un trigal en tres tristes trastos. Oh. And I'm back. Okay, so we've got a potentially record-breaking run. I'm 4 short of a perfect score right now. If I can maintain that, which I'm looking at this and this may be difficult. Okay, we have a fairly skinny cockerel, we have palm trees, but if I can somehow maintain this near perfect score for 3 more rounds, then I will have broken my personal record of 24,991 out of 25,000. But this looks like long odds so far. I mean, this could be Indonesia, it could be Cambodia, it could be a whole lot of places, really. Tanah Abang, Ahli Sumurbor. Okay, this is making me think Indonesia. And if I can manage to I think that if I can manage to actually maintain the score that I've got so far. In Indonesia, then I think I will have broken another personal record, because Indonesia is not easy. Tanah Abang. Okay, let's see. Okay, Labuhan Ketapang. Tulanggagung, Trenggalek, Ponorogo Pulong. Yeah, the trouble with Indonesia that makes it so challenging, unless you really know your way around the place, which I do not, is that it is quite spread out. So it is very easy to be way off. And at this point, if I'm going to beat this record, I would need to be very, very close indeed. What's this called? Tanah Abang. It'd be nice if we got a province name or something. Sonegiri Kabahabang. I hear the sound of an excitable dog. I mean, of course, I'm just guessing, because my Indonesian is virtually non-existent, that is the place name. Because it just looks, the way it's placed in these signs makes me think it's a place name. It doesn't have to be a place name. I could be looking for the absolute wrong thing here. That is the other reason Indonesia is challenging. I know what Indonesian looks like, the language. That's fairly easy. But I do not actually know what pretty much any of it means. Pali. Is Pali? A region? I mean, I know there's Bali. Okay, I'm just gonna... I could take forever and never actually have that level of certainty. Say it's someplace around here. Hell. Okay, not breaking any records today. Tanahabang. It's in South Sumatra, which is where I kind of would have guessed. So actually the decision to try to be more precise about it ultimately led me to go, if I had just kind of gone with my instinct, which is that statistically there's more of a population in Sumatra. Most of these places seem to, on GeoGuessr, seem to be in Sumatra. If I had just gone with that initial intuition, I probably would be doing better right now. But okay, so we've got an IKEA. And the sign is in Italian. We've got an Italian IKEA. Still, yeah. Like, apart from Indonesia, which, I mean, Indonesia, if that's in there, I'm just not breaking my record unless I get incredibly lucky. Okay, so we're someplace in Italy that has an IKEA. And a roundabout. There's a roundabout and an IKEA. Oh, and we got a sign. What does the sign tell us? Okay, we're near Pisa. SS1 Livorno, SS1 Roma, Firenze. Okay, we're in northern Italy. A 11 a 12 darsena Pisana. Okay. And Pisa is what direction from us? Northish. Okay, so IKEA, south of Pisa, near Florence. Okay, no, wait, if we go, like, east, we get roads to Livorno and Rome. Now there's the SS1. Okay, so now we just need to find an IKEA. Tecnoma IKEA Pisa. Ce l'abbiamo. Okay. $49.99. Okay, so it's like perfect score, it's near perfect score except for Indonesia. That's pretty good, actually. Like, that was literally just a car park away from a perfect score there. Okay, we got hedgerows. Lots of hedgerows. And very narrow roads. This feels like England. One day, okay, Denbury. Never heard of Denbury. It's interesting. You can tell how small a town is in Britain because most of the time the sign will say, please drive carefully. But when it's really small and you have these one-lane, like 4-figure B roads, then it'll say, please drive slowly. Like, they don't even want to talk about carefully because they know that's not how, that That's not specific enough. Woodland Close. Okay. Where the hell is Denbury, though? Newton Abbot. Oh, we're in Devon. I know Newton Abbot. That is the station you get off if you want to take the railway to the, Oh, Ashburton! I have a friend there! Ashburton is lovely. Okay. Yeah, I know exactly where this is, practically. Wow, I mean, seriously, this would have been the perfect one to break my record, except for Indonesia. And one day, I'm going to be playing GeoGuessr in here, and somebody from Indonesia is going to hear me giving out about how Indonesia sabotages my score, and is going to misunderstand me, I think. It is nothing to do with Indonesia exactly, except that it is so widely spread out. Okay. Reading, Slough, Exeter, Exmoor, Bideford. Okay. There's Newton Abbot. There's Ashburton. Yeah. And there's Ipplepen. And shit, this is the bit of Devon that I know halfway well. Blagden, great name. Cockington. And there's Buckfast Lee. Oh, the South Devon Railway. I've been on that. That is a steam railway that goes from Buckfast Lee to Totnes, and it is gorgeous. It is just so beautifully, lovingly maintained. There we go, Denbury. Right between Ashburton and Newton Abbot. Had many lovely times in Ashburton. I have to tell my friend that the clue was Denbury. She'll know it. There's Princetown. Okay, there we go. Ashburton. HMP Channing's Wood. Right by a prison. $49.98. Holy shit, this I would have, if had it not been for Indonesia, I would totally have broken my record. Like every other one of those was almost a perfect score. Okay, time to change gears and see what we've got. We had started to watch a video. Oh, breaking on the latest aid flotilla to Gaza. Israeli forces have hijacked the Handala and taken 20 crew members hostage. Including Amazon Labor Union founder Christian Smalls, French-Swedish politician, European Parliament member Emma Fourou, actor Jacob Berger, yeah. So I had been kind of monitoring that a little bit. And there we are. So we've been watching this discussion with Luca Lampariello, Richard Simcott, and various other people. It's been quite good. And I have half a mind to continue that, though I also kind of want to see the rest of this Evildea thing, where he is totally misunderstanding what they're talking about and has decided to make it all about himself, and apparently my content isn't needed, his thumbnail says. I mean, like, whose content strictly is needed, though? Or actually, let's see. There's also another Evildea. Apparently the guy deleted his YouTube after this video called WTF is this seriously 300 hours of Spanish input. I'm kind of curious about that one.
What's up, grinders? Welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to be talking about dreaming Spanish. Okay, why am I talking about dreaming Spanish?
And now, we're going to see, since he's feeling, like, apparently butthurt because people said that investigating polyglots isn't necessarily the most helpful thing to do, and helping people just understand what realistic claims about language learning methods are makes more sense. So let's just look at this. I mean, I'm just curious about it because the guy apparently deleted his channel after this.
Spanish. Well, a little bit of an update. Every 50 hours, as you guys know, I drop a video in Dreaming Spanish. Not in Dreaming Spanish. I drop a video about Dreaming Spanish where I give you guys a realistic update on what you can achieve at that level. Like at 50 hours, 100 hours, 150 hours.
Yeah, I know. And really giving out quite copiously about things he really does not know a whole lot about.
Like, what is actually possible? Like, no bullshit. This is me at that moment. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not trying to destroy your belief in the system. I'm just presenting what is possible with my background. My background being a speaker of Esperanto, a language that shares a very large amount of words with Spanish, also has a very similar phoneme.
Okay, and let's just note, we're talking about 300 hours of Spanish input. First of all, it's going to depend what that input is. I mean, it's not any old input. Although I would have to say, I mean, I've looked at Dreaming Spanish, I have to say their input is actually, like, reasonably good. And it's also graded, which is also good. But, like, not every kind of input is going to be ideal for every person. And the other thing is that there is what's called the silent period, and it takes longer to overcome that than it takes to start developing comprehension, assuming that you've got really, you know, the right kind of input for where you are in the first place.
Technology, etc., etc. So basically, I should be a little bit better than most people at those hours. And most people have appreciated my videos because they know that I'm not trying to sell a false dream. I'm just giving a realistic look at the method. Now, I did drop this video right here, which is called What the Fuck Is This? Seriously, 2,000 hours of Spanish input, where I do a review of someone who's interviewed after doing 2,000 hours of Spanish on Dreaming Spanish, and he can't talk.
Yeah, I mean, and again, there's something called the silent period. It takes longer than it takes to develop comprehension. And also, motherfucker, you've only had 300 hours of Spanish input. How are you judging somebody else's Spanish? Like, seriously. How are you going to be the one to judge that?
Realistically, he can barely talk. And I was in shock in that video, and that video pissed a bunch of people off, but...
Yeah, I can understand why, because there's more to the knowledge of a language than being able to speak, and what you're going to develop first is the ability to comprehend. Hello, language mania. So, okay. Yeah, so it would have annoyed anyone who actually understands anything about this. Spoiler alert, that is a group that does not include Evildea.
Then I had people come to my Discord and ask me, Evildea, you can't just review a bad example of the method. You need to review a good example.
And I mean, I'm not even going to say that this is necessarily a bad example. Because again, speech is going to take longer. It does not emerge as quickly. And there are a lot more factors. Once speech starts to emerge, that doesn't mean it's going to come out beautifully. That means you're going, like, we were watching on the stream, on the discussion yesterday with Luca Lampariello et al. And they were talking about, like, A1, A2. That's actually, where you can, like, sort of barely get through on some basic stuff. That takes a while, actually.
And I was sent a good example. And as an honest guy, I'm not going to sit here and, not take a look at a good example because, well, I'm hoping that's what I achieve. So the video I was sent was this video right here, 800 hours of Spanish immersion update.
So this guy, here's the thing. Okay, so this guy deleted his channel after that.
Spanish beautifully after 800 hours, at least from what I can tell. I'm not the best judge of Spanish at this level, but from...
Yeah, that is a good thing to know. You, like, literally don't, by your own admission, know anything about Spanish, and certainly should not.
What I can tell, he's speaking really, really well.
But let's hear it.
Okay, after 800 hours, which is completely... like diabolically, is that even the right word?
No.
It doesn't matter. Like, he's completely opposite to the 2,000 hours guy. So I was watching this and I was like, really? That's what you can achieve? But I can't really judge, because he's so far ahead of me.
You can't.
But he did drop this video right here, which is him speaking after 300 hours. Now, when I watched this video, because I've watched it through already, I was like, there's some freaking red flags here. Now, I'm going to watch a bit of it with you. I'm going to point out what the red flags are, and I'm going to...
Okay. Which is great, coming from a guy who, again, does not speak Spanish. Is not even an A1 in Spanish. Is on his way to A1 in Spanish. So we're going to see what he thinks red flags are based on, like, him not knowing the
language. Tell you why these are red flags, okay?
Okay.
So first up, he's at 300 hours. I'm at 229. So by the end of tonight, I'll be like 231, okay? Because I'm doing 3 hours per day. And that is a lot of hours, realistically, but I'm doing that because that's the only way I'm seriously feeling the progress. Like,
okay, and here's another misconception. It's like, what do you mean by feeling the progress? I mean, he calls his viewers grinders, which already tells me that he's probably taking the wrong sort of approach to this. Because the thing is, we're talking largely about implicit learning, where you're not necessarily going to notice the progress until you find yourself in a situation where your target language is being spoken and you realize actually you understood that.
I have to do 3 hours per day. Now, this guy's doing 4 hours per day, so he's doing 1 more hour per day than me. But he has a language background, as in he speaks Serbian. Now, this is kind of important, but let's watch what he's got to say, because he's going to straight up speak in Spanish.
Hola a todos, ¿cómo estáis? ¿Estáis bien? ¿Estáis bien? Bien.
Okay, I mean, this is fairly basic Spanish. He pronounces it very nicely.
Este video quiero hablar un poco porque por fin tengo 300 horas de IQ comprensible. Y sí, quiero mostrar mi nivel de español con 300 horas. Pero sí, primero, yo sé que Pablo dice...
Okay.
Okay, I mean, he has a bit of an accent when he speaks Spanish, but I mean, it's definitely, you can understand it quite well. He's speaking, in Iberian Spanish. Nothing he has said is particularly complicated. I mean, none of this is like, it's not like he's... acting at a scene from La Celestina or something. He is very, this is very basic Spanish, but it is delivered confidently. And, now, taking Evildea's word, which he might not know everything about this guy, I know nothing about this guy, he does not have a background in Romance languages. If he does have a background in Romance languages, if he, knows some Italian, or he knows some Portuguese or French or something, then you would need even less, because as they were talking about quite correctly on the discussion we were watching yesterday, then you have models to fall back on. But okay.
Before I let him continue for a bit, I'm going to speak a little bit of Spanish. Now, I know this is not recommended in the method, but I am doing this as an experiment, and I want to show you what you're capable of at this point. Let me just move the mic.
Yeah, and again, this is... Yeah, the reason it's not recommended is forcing speech does not actually help you develop the ability to speak. And the question is, like, what input, which like, videos from Dreaming Spanish is he even watching? What is he doing with them?
A little bit better for myself. Okay, let's begin. ¿Cómo está? Mi nombre es Evildea. Mi película de hombre, sombre, Dreaming Spanish.
Okay. I mean, like, okay, I think I know what he was trying to say there, because I think he was trying to say película, film. He started to say vid, because video exists. He would have been right to say video. But then he went to película, which is film, movie, sobre Dreaming Spanish. Like, so I think he was saying he was watching a video. He was trying to say he was watching a video about Dreaming Spanish, although that could have also been mi película es sobre or something like that, in which, you know, so okay, I can kind of understand what he's saying.
I don't even know how to say he, so let's forget that word. Esta.
You don't need, I mean, pro tip for people learning Spanish, learning Italian, you can get by without, you often will not need to actually mention the pronoun explicitly, because the verb gives you the information.
Aprender de español. That's all I can say, okay? Like, as you can clearly see, my abilities at this point are kind of shit. Like, probably everything there was...
Yeah, I mean, that isn't a whole lot. But we haven't seen a whole lot from this other guy either. I mean, he delivers it with confidence, but most of what he said is just, like, greetings. And I did 300 hours of Dreaming Spanish. Like, nothing too challenging.
Okay? Now that is my first ever attempt at speaking. Okay, so clip that shit for when I'm fluent and Evildea's out here fucking whipping his tits out speaking in Spanish. But at the moment, that's what I'm capable of. And this guy, 70 hours ahead of me, is just out here speaking like it's rolling off the butt of a baby. Like, this shit is amazing.
Wow, the fucking metaphors we're getting here.
If this is 300 hours of comprehensible input. Now,
I mean, it's like... I would say it's good. Amazing. I would need to see way more than this.
Now, there is a few issues I have here, okay? Now, we'll watch a tiny bit more, and I'll leave a link in the description for you guys to go check it out yourselves.
Siempre dice que no deberíamos hablar antes de, no sé, 800 horas o 1000 horas, algo así. Pero para mí también creo que sí es mejor no hablar antes de 800 horas.
Okay, now we're getting into some more, what would generally be thought of as some more advanced grammar. There's like deberíamos, conditional, and he's using it correctly. Like, if all he's done is 300 hours of input with Dreaming Spanish and he has no background in Romance languages, because I should note, I mean, if he's a native Serbian speaker, Serbian is one of these Balkan languages, along with Romanian and Greek and all the ex-Yugoslavian languages. And the way they do things like conditionals and infinitives and stuff is totally different. So, like, he would not have any help from his L1 to work these things out. But on the other hand, I mean, deberíamos, that is a very common form to hear. So, I mean, that isn't necessarily too advanced. It's not like he's not like making subjunctives either. So, but okay, but he's using, so far, I mean, this is, this is quite good Spanish for somebody who's only had 300 hours, I would say.
Pero en este video quiero mostrar mi nivel, quiero grabar este video porque quiero comparar mi nivel ahora con 300 horas, con, no sé, mi nivel con 600 horas, con 300 horas, con 1000 horas.
Yeah, like he has an accent when he speaks it, but so far, like, I haven't heard anything. There hasn't been a glaring error. In fact, I don't think I've heard him say anything, like, other than, like, pronunciation. Hey, there are things like he schwas things, and Spanish doesn't really go in for schwas. But yeah, I mean, if this is just 300 hours and nothing else, like he's never had any other exposure to Spanish that might give him a leg up, and no exposure to other Romance languages that would possibly give him an advantage, then that is actually, I mean, that is low-key, I would say, an impressive result.
So, basically, he's never spoken Spanish before. This is the first time ever he's speaking Spanish in this video. I call bullshit. There is no way this is your first time speaking Spanish. Now,
I mean, okay.
I looked at the comments section, okay, because the comments are also in line with my own thinking, like 100 hours comprehensible input, big props to you. I wouldn't call this anywhere near fluent, but in 30 days I'll be hitting 600 hours, so I want to do a proper call with a Spanish native to see where my speaking is really at. I find it so hard to believe that you can speak this well at only 300 hours. To reach this level so quickly, I assume you have a lot of experience with language learning under your belt. Good.
Okay, there's a reply there, and I'm kind of curious. Okay, so he does have a fair bit of language learning under his belt. I mean, he says his English is at a native level. I have not heard his English. His Serbian is his native language. I mean,
job. I mean, I speak Serbian as a native language and English as a native language. Also, I would say I'm going super hard on input, about 4 hours a day, which kind of immersion helps a lot. Now, again, I'm going to call bullshit on this because I speak Esperanto. Esperanto shares like 60 to 70% lexicon with Spanish. Now, it's not a one-to-one. Like, the sounds sometimes are just like kind of familiar.
Yeah, I mean, it really is not one-to-one.
And then other times not familiar at all. But like it does share a lot. I looked up Serbian. Serbian shares 10%. Now, he also mentions in other comments that, you know, we've got the same vowel sounds and stuff like that. Esperanto has the same thing. I'm fluent in Esperanto, okay? So the sounds of Spanish are not strange to me. I can hear them, I can distinguish them.
Like, there are a number of things here. First of all, I mean, the fact that, I mean, he seems to be really looking to find a way to rub, I mean, he's coming from this very much, and this comes out in other videos, from a point of view of trying to sort of rubbish input-based language learning methods. I mean, and that already is going to make you less receptive to them. Like, he low-key seems to, I mean, my impression from watching his stuff is he's setting out to prove that they don't work. And if you come to it, there's what is called the affective filter. And if part of what you're low-key trying to do is show that this doesn't work, that's going to have an effect.
But when they're speaking fast, even as he was speaking fast, I get like
he was not actually speaking all that fast for Spanish.
Fuzzy idea of the word. I can kind of hear like the beginning, the middle, maybe the end and stuff like that. Because still, it's not exactly like Esperanto. So
no,
I don't
not
get
remotely
the full word.
I mean, like etymologically, there are a lot of words that are like related. That is true. But, I mean, it is also very different in important ways.
And the fact of the matter is, when he's speaking through that whole video, he actually speaks at a level which is higher than my comprehension. Now, that is another red. flag because realistically, okay.
Okay, he's gonna tell us about realistically. He doesn't understand the method. He's made that very clear when he's commented on the subject. He doesn't know the language, and he's gonna tell us about realistically.
Your speaking ability lags your comprehension.
I mean, okay, but he's not wrong here. That is true. But, like, his speaking, this is... So far, there has not been anything terribly advanced. And maybe he actually rehearsed it a couple of times. That's entirely possible. And there are some people who actually are just really good at speaking with confidence because they've done this a lot. So, I mean, yeah, that is an impressive result. I'm not going to, but it is not an implausible result at all.
Okay, and if his speaking ability is better than my comprehension at 300 hours, which is roughly like a week, maybe 2 weeks ahead of where...
Yeah, but here's the thing, your speaking ability will lag behind your comprehension. That does not mean that it's implausible that his speaking ability could be ahead of your comprehension, because here, I just have to notice this. You are two different people. You are at two different levels. You are not sharing a brain.
I am right now, because I'm doing 3 hours a day. Then he must be, like, amazing. Okay, like, just amazing at learning languages.
Well... I mean, and here's the thing, again, we're talking about a certain number of hours, but the number of hours is only part of it. It's not just quantitative. It matters what you do with those hours. What kind of input you're looking at. You know, all those sorts of things. How you're engaging with it. What kind of mental state you're in when you're engaging with it. So, I mean, I think it's actually kind of fucked up that he is really making fairly broad assumptions here based on, as he points out, I mean, his complete lack of knowledge.
Or something else is going on. And I think something else is going on because there is so many, like, contradictory comments in the comment section.
Wow, I mean, if YouTube comments... YouTube comments are notoriously a great source of evidence of, you know...
Okay, let's get down into it. God, you know what? I hate being this guy.
Then don't. Like, don't. You don't have to be. Nobody particularly asked you to be this guy.
Why am I always the guy who has to point this shit out online? Like...
You know...
Why is everyone just, like, nod, give a thumb up, and then just not say anything when there's literal contradictions happening here?
Like what? I mean, other than the YouTube comments.
Okay, so let's go down.
Okay. So, okay, this channel is called Language Nuke, and I'm kind of curious about it now. He supposedly he deleted it. But maybe he blocked Evildea? No, it seems the channel is no longer there. He gets a lot of... I'm curious how big a channel this was.
It's pretty crazy how well you speak Spanish with only 300 hours of input. I don't perceive any accent with your Spanish compared to your English.
Yeah, yeah, I perceive an accent. He definitely has an accent. Like, this person, so, I mean, that's just wrong. Like, he very clearly has an accent. I would not have called it a Serbian accent, incidentally. I would have actually said it's a little bit more of a North American English accent. Hey, GGM. I mean, so maybe the YouTube... I mean, now, I hate to cast aspersions on the reliability of YouTube commenters. I mean, because YouTube comments are famously a source of, like, scientifically validated discussion. But, I mean, if somebody's saying he has they don't perceive an accent, it's because they don't know the language well enough to perceive it. The accent is there.
Did you start speaking earlier when learning English, or do you have any other ideas why this might be? No, I would say that Spanish has a lot more sounds that are similar to my native language, which is Serbian. It's exactly the same with Esperanto, and I'm pretty sure Esperanto has more sounds similar to Spanish than Serbian does. But I guess someone in the comments section could go do a check on that one. What did you do to practice your speaking and writing abilities? Also, do you watch streaming Spanish with subtitles? I've never practiced speaking. I did text my Spanish speaking friend a bit, but very rarely. And no, I don't watch anything with subtitles. It kind of defeats the point of comprehensible input, but...
I mean, which, let me just say, that's not true. Actually, subtitles do not actually demonstrably have any adverse impact on input. It can, I mean...
To be honest, I mostly watch native content on YouTube and anime now. I'm doing maybe an hour and a half of dreaming Spanish per day.
So what he's saying is actually it may be 300 hours specifically of dreaming Spanish, but in addition to that, he's watching a bunch of other Spanish content. So, I mean, he's saying 300 hours of dreaming Spanish, but it might actually be a whole bunch of other hours of other stuff.
How are you able to write in Spanish if you never get the opportunity to see the words and how they're spelled? This is a valid point. In dreaming Spanish, if you're watching the content, you never see the words written, except in a couple of challenge videos where they'll appear at the bottom.
Yeah, but he said he's watching other stuff and he's watching other Spanish language content as well, so...
In fact, most written input of Spanish that I've seen so far comes from the YouTube channel that I've been watching, which is called Spanish Boost Gaming, because he will read through tutorials. It was only like probably 10 hours ago that I realized that 2 L's in Spanish makes a Y sound. Why does 2 L's make a Y sound?
I mean, it doesn't necessarily make exactly a Y sound, though. But, okay.
And then sometimes it doesn't. For other accents, I think it makes a J sound for another accent, but like I've noticed that basically it does not make an L sound, and it doesn't match with Esperanto in that case. And I don't know if that's true with Serbian, but overall, like even though the language may be phonetic, it doesn't, like, you still need to learn the rules of what sounds match what letters. So.
And in fact, like native speakers actually, it's not so phonetic that native speakers don't make misspellings.
Okay, I've read an article here and there, but just like
no te accent nativo. Te accent como norteamericano.
A native language, Serbian Spanish is phonetic. It's written more or less how it's spoken, so I really have no problems with that.
So he reads. That's why he's able. So he reads, and he has, and he's doing a bunch of like comprehensible input, not exclusively dreaming Spanish. Like, okay, what benefit is there to the world to, like, take this guy down exactly? We haven't seen any sign that he's selling anything. We haven't seen any sign that he has a financial conflict of interest that would lead him to lie about this. He says he's just doing it for his progress. I have no reason to doubt that. Like, I know nothing about the channel, and he deleted his channel after this video. So, which is actually the main reason I'm watching this.
To write...
And notice we haven't actually heard the entire thing that the guy says. Okay, we got a few more minutes.
I would say if I was to. I've done this. I've written down words that I've kind of spotted for my 50-hour updates. And when I write down those words, sometimes every now and then, I'll see people discuss those words in the comments section. Guess what? What I've written looks nothing like generally what people write in the comments section. And then I'm...
Okay.
Like, oh, is that how it's written? Never would have guessed that.
Yeah, but you're also not reading anything, and he said he is reading things.
Because I'm pretty sure It's not, like, it doesn't match phonetically like what I would expect from Esperanto, okay? I don't know if Serbian just somehow magically matches up, you know, the sounds to the written form the same as Spanish does.
It doesn't, for the most part. I mean, like, except on the things, I mean, yeah.
If it does, my apologies.
Like the...
But I don't believe so. Assuming you haven't done another few hundred hours off platform, because I know you've also logged some non-DS content.
Yeah, when he already said he has logged a whole bunch, an unspecified amount. Saluki? No, I do not, but I'm curious. What kind of videos? There's a content creator, a Palestinian content creator called Hamza Afghani, who I occasionally watch, who does, like, nature walks and, like, tour videos and stuff in Al-Quds and surrounding areas that are quite good.
This is really impressive for 300 hours. Nice job. 0 hours off platform. What do you mean 0 hours off platform? You literally just set up here, you've done Netflix and shit.
Like, Jesus, like, why... So what? Like, what's the point of this? Was this guy selling something? Or was he just doing this for the love of the game, you know?
Oh wait, so let me just find it. Oh, sorry. Native content. I mostly watch native content on YouTube and anime now. Yeah, so Netflix and shit. That's off-platform.
I mean, what does off-platform mean? Exactly. I have never heard this expression. We're assuming that the two of them are using it identically, and I have no reason to assume that. And why is he getting so angry about this? Like, people...
So which is it? Are you done 0 off platform or not? 0 hours off platform, but you showed us all the non-DS YouTube and Netflix Spanish content.
Okay, well, scroll down. I would be nice to actually see this without his head in the way of the fucking comments.
You've been watching in other videos. What is with this contradiction?
Why do you care?
Okay, now anyway, based on the comments and based on the comments of this...
Like, what does it fucking matter?
Video and the other video, what I've come to notice is the main differences between me and him so far.
I mean, I will tell you, the main difference, we have not actually heard his entire, the entire thing. His pronunciation is definitely better, though to say it is accent-free is false. There is a detectable accent. He pronounces it correctly. You would totally understand, I totally understand every word he said. None of it was particularly challenging, I would say. And he spoke with confidence. Like, it just came flowing out. Yeah, that is what it really feels like. Like, why the hell are you, why does it fucking matter? Okay, so he watched some videos. Maybe he's saying, like, he could, for example, be saying that he was watching that stuff, but he wasn't really paying that much attention, whereas he is very intent on paying attention to, Dreaming Spanish. Like, what is, I mean, I don't know what off-platform actually means. He doesn't know what off-platform actually means. And nobody should give a shit. Well, okay, is he a Palestinian citizen of Israel, or... The Saluki. I'm gonna just look this up. I'm curious. Okay. That name is vaguely familiar, I have to say. I feel like that name actually kind of rings a bell the more I think about it.
Is that the claim is he speaks Serbian, maybe that's helping him out.
I don't see why. I mean, it might help him out phonetically a little bit. I think the fact that he's already learned one language, apparently to like a really high level of fluency, is helping him out. But I mean, he's not. This is nothing he's done strikes. I mean, it is very much in the sort of A1 area. This is like the the A1 A2 jumps. Hi, Jasperson. Oi.
Brian, I'm pretty sure Esperanto would help a lot more than Serbian. Okay, so let's take that one off the table. The second one is he's doing 4 hours a day. I'm doing 3. Maybe that 1 extra hour a day really does make a difference.
Okay, following you so far, but
now for those who are curious, because maybe
but I see there are other options. One, he's engaging, he is in he's in a better mental state for engaging with it. His affective filter is down. Another possibility is you're not looking at the same 300 hours of content. He's looking at content that is more suitable for him than what you're looking at, and that has resulted in it. And he does say he's watching some other stuff. How he's engaging with it, maybe he just has it on the background and he doesn't count it because of that, even though that actually does help. But I mean, why do you fucking care?
Thinking, Evildea, you're just not as focused on the content as him. No, I actually.
How do you know? How do you know how much he focuses? Have you bugged this guy's house, Evildea? Yeah, motivation, absolutely. I mean, that is what we're talking about when we're talking about the affective filter. We're talking about psychological barriers to language learning. And that can be how you feel about the content. That can be how you feel about the entire process. That can be, for example, in the case of Evildea, wanting to rubbish the entire idea that comprehensible input is useful, because you just, for some reason, want to just rubbish the a whole lot of scientific research that you don't understand, and I don't see why you would do that. I don't see what that I mean, but people do all sorts of weird shit on YouTube. People watch fucking West Side Tyler. I don't understand why they do that, but I mean, it's all sorts of weird things happen on this platform.
I put my phone away in the cupboard, okay? I sit down
okay.
And I hyper-focus on what I'm doing.
Hyper-focusing in itself does not necessarily mean that you're engaging in the right sort of a way, though. Because the thing is, stress is one of the things that, your stress level, what you're expecting of yourself, that sort of thing is also actually toxic to language acquisition. So hyper-focusing and, demanding a lot of yourself and stuff is not necessarily the thing. I mean, being relaxed actually helps.
Hyper-focus. I'm a person who does that. And I literally watch the people's lip movements as they're talking, because for some reason that helps me hear words better. I don't know why, but I focus in on their lips. And I do my 3 hours in...
So you're focusing on their lips and not necessarily on the visual things that they're also including at this basic level. If you're looking at early beginner level content, you're not. If you're focusing too much on your lips, you're not noticing all the other stuff that they're bringing into aided comprehension, potentially.
3 segments over the day, 1 in the morning, 1 at midday, 1 after the work. Okay, so I'm generally not tired, and sometimes I even go for more than 3 hours. So this is not like a focus issue for me.
I mean, from what he says, it could very well be, though. Yeah, is the content of interest to him? Or is he just doing this in order to be able to say that dreaming Spanish is bullshit? Like, why? Like, seriously.
Not like passively absorbing the content.
That would be better, actually.
But he says that he does 1 hour of dreaming Spanish and then 3 hours of native content. That's the big difference.
I don't know that it is a big difference because it would depend, again, on the content. And I didn't see him say that either, actually. I mean, it would be a difference in the sense that quantitatively, it might add up to more than 300 hours, and I would count all of that as like an hour of input. But it also depends. I mean, qualitative aspects are extremely important here. Like, if he's watching input that fascinates him, that makes a difference. If he's watching input on subjects he knows about and that he can bring all that knowledge to bear on it, that makes a difference too.
But that also flies in the face of everything I understand about comprehensible input.
Why would it?
Which is that it must be understandable. I+1. Literally, that's the rule. Like,
oh, wow, he actually read a bit about it.
okay. So you need to understand the majority of it in order to pick up those...
No, you don't need to understand the majority of it. You need to understand at least some of it.
Words and context. Now, I've heard this claim from others before, such as Spencer, that maybe the native content is what makes the difference at the end of the day. You just...
Well, no, I mean, that could potentially make the difference. But it also, like, Dreaming Spanish has tons of videos. Last I checked. Dreaming Spanish has a whole lot of videos. You're not necessarily watching the same videos. You're not necessarily watching the best videos for you. And it sounds like you're engaging it in a really sort of weird way where instead of focusing on trying to understand the messages, you're trying to lip read in a language you don't know. And I don't understand that. And
just need to absorb lots of native content and just be open to more ambiguity. Maybe that's really it.
Yeah, that is really it. That is very central to the entire thing. But I'm going to move over. Because I'm kind of curious. I want to watch this thing. We're kind of closing in on it, but he did a follow-up after this guy deleted his entire YouTube, which I have to say sucks, because I don't see any reason to think this guy was a scammer or a grifter or anything. He was, like, bullied by a guy who probably has way more subscribers than him. He's got, like, Evildea has a fair number, 28K. That's not huge, but it's pretty big. And he's basically being called a liar. Not based on anything. This is not based on anything other than a guy who doesn't really know anything about this saying so.
What's up, grinders? Welcome back to the channel. Now,
So that is actually a fucked up thing he did. Because when he does these polyglot investigations, which I am deeply ambivalent about on a number of levels, deeply ambivalent about that, but at the very least there is some sort of investigation that goes on. Like, he asks people who know stuff about the thing to give their opinions on the subject.
Making another video today. In fact, I was in bed, I just finished my Dreaming Spanish grind, and I was about to watch some movies in Chinese when I started getting more and more pings on one of my recent videos. And these pings, because, you know, I get like a little segment of the comments, they kind of shocked me because it was about the fact that someone I've reviewed before has completely blown away their internet presence. So,
yeah.
Who do you think it is? Do you think it's Akram? Do you think it's Kaio, or however his name said? Spanish input. And it's this guy here, okay? So he had a YouTube channel where he had uploaded several videos about his progress using Dreaming Spanish, and in his 300-hour update, he presented his Spanish progression saying...
Yeah, and it was not... Okay.
This is what he had achieved, just pure 300 hours of input, and I call bullshit on him.
Yeah, which you shouldn't have done, because nothing he said was implausible, and as you yourself acknowledged, you don't know anything about this. Like, previously had said he goes after people who are, like, trying to sell something to you. He has presented absolutely nothing to indicate whether this guy was trying to sell anything to us. He has presented nothing at all that suggests that he was, like, that this guy was a scammer or anything.
Because realistically, it was way further ahead than what I'm at.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was that much further ahead. There was more confidence in the speaking, and he pronounced the things better, but he had an accent, and it was relatively simple stuff.
Around 300 hours, okay? I'm not around 300 hours yet, that's a lie. I'm around 240 or something like that.
So, yeah, okay, so you were, not even
but
300
anyway,
hours.
Like, it just seemed completely unrealistic for a 300-hour update. I made a video I called bullshit.
Yeah.
I wanted to know more. Is there more related to what you actually did?
Well, why, instead of, if you wanted to know more, why didn't you, like, find out more before putting this guy on blast, actually?
Because if there's actually a way to more efficiently use ALG or Dreaming Spanish, hell, I want to do it. Okay.
Well, why didn't you do that video? That wasn't the video we just got done watching, where you basically call this guy a liar, repeatedly, based on, like, nothing. Like, okay, like, that would have been good. Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you say, hey, why don't we, like, he's done this, like, with people who were actually considerably sketchier. Like, people, which is to say, at all sketchy, where he will actually, like, contact them and talk with them and ask them, you know, questions and stuff. Like, this guy, he just puts him on blast. Based on really not much. Based on really nothing. If you what you wanted to do was no more, and you just called him a fucking fraud, that's kind of fucked up, actually.
Okay, so my video was two-part. One, is this actually true?
Well, I mean, not really much. There wasn't much asking the question. You just, like, straight up called him full of shit.
Are you, like, bullshitting online, you know, for likes type of thing? And two, if it is actually true, then what the hell did you do?
Well, why didn't you start out by asking that? Like, if he's full of shit, first of all, do we care? Like, is he, like, trying to grift people? Is he actually trying to scam people? If that's true, it would have been very good to actually show us that, because it really seems like you bullied a guy off the internet who was doing nothing but posting his progress and learning languages.
Now, my comment section pretty quickly filled up with like a 95 to 5% ratio, with 95% of people calling bullshit themselves.
Well, okay.
A portion of those are actually people who are following me for the Dreaming Spanish Challenge and doing Dreaming Spanish themselves. Some 300, 800, 1,000, you know, a vast range of people. Also.
Wow, so he got like YouTube comments that were supportive amongst, you know, so clearly that's evidence, because if his fans, the people who are most likely to watch his YouTube videos, came on YouTube and wrote comments saying, I agree with you, that must clearly mean that he was right.
Saying, yeah, no, this seems completely unrealistic. And then, of course, you got the 5% who are like, yeah, no, I can believe this type of thing. But realistically, obviously, it swung in one very specific direction of, bro, there's definitely more going on here, what's going on? Now, my comment section...
Again, was there anyone who said,
online presence in,
like, who cares? He deleted his socials for a reason, let's leave it at that. Imagine if somebody came in here, imagine deleting your channel because of the guy with pants on his head. He's already made, oh no. Yeah. I mean, this is a lot of... Yeah, no, that actually... Like, seriously, other people are in there, like, talking about... This didn't pass the pub test from a bunch of people who doesn't know shit about this. Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether he's gloating or not yet. It kind of feels like he is.
Welcome back to the channel. Now, I had no...
Wait, this went all the way back to the beginning. I didn't mean to do that.
So unimportant to, you know, realistically the online polyglot thing. But realistically, obviously it swung in one very specific direction of, bro, there's definitely more going on here, what's going on? Now,
Okay, there we go.
now my comment section, obviously the people, they start to explore his online presence in YouTube, looking into his previous videos to find out if there was more involved. And
Like, okay, see, this, I should note, came before the panel discussion we've been watching, where he was not called out. Like, as he himself pointed out in his response to that, there are a bunch of people doing this sort of things. Well, I mean, he assumes it, but, I mean, it sounds like this happened in fairly rapid succession. And honestly, I have no trouble believing that he deleted his stuff because of this video. Because the video, like, he had somebody with 28,000 subscribers calling him a liar. And I imagine he's probably smaller than that. Like, I mean, that sucks, actually. I can imagine taking stuff down because somebody, like, basically brigaded you like that.
And yes, there was. Now, I had no intention of making a follow-up video about this because I deemed it to be so unimportant to, you know, realistically the online polyglot YouTube space, because this is not like a guy who's selling courses or anything like that. You know, it's not a big thing.
So okay, the guy, he's not a guy. Let me back that up. I had that speeded up because I thought we were gonna need to fast forward a little bit, but that was important.
To, you know, realistically the online polyglot YouTube space, because this is not like a guy who was selling courses or anything like that, you know.
So why do you give a shit? Like, okay, so, I mean, I was gonna say, like, again, like, he himself has previously said the only reason he will actually, like, go after somebody is if they're trying to make money off of it. If they're trying to, like, sell people something. So he's right here saying this guy was not selling anyone anything. And he did not give this guy the courtesy he extends to people who are actually selling something and making much less plausible claims. That is fucked up, actually.
He's not a big name YouTuber, so I figured it was just like, okay, so it's a guy who over-embellished or left out a lot of information.
Or maybe he did not, actually. Maybe he's just legit got a better result than you, and you are massively over-embellishing. Like, nothing that was visible in that video was, like, advanced Spanish. Like, it was all very A1, A2 level. He just delivered it with a lot of confidence.
Realistically, not that uncommon on this platform. Anyway, so apparently he'd done like an 8 or a 9 hour speaking course, like that's something he publicly stated before, early on, but he stopped saying later on.
Yeah, but the thing, okay, so what?
Video games, quite a bit in Spanish. He's
so what?
Like passive stuff outside the platform, which probably he didn't track, but essentially there was more involved.
Oh, wow, well, fucking crucify him then, mate. Fucking crucify him.
And when I started reading the comments about this, looking into myself, I was like, okay, well, now I know. That's pretty much it. I don't care anymore. Obviously, you know, it isn't just the 300 hours that made you to this point. There was more involved, so realistically, it doesn't really matter to me anymore. It's not...
Well, why did it matter in the first place?
Going to affect my plans for, you know, dreaming Spanish moving forward. That was the end of it for me. But then the guy had to go away and completely obliterate his online presence. So, like, this is my pinned comment here, okay? So, previously the pinned comment was actually his comment because he came to my channel, left a comment, and the comment was quite angry. But essentially, first he was like, yeah, no, I'm not trying to be a big YouTuber, you know, blah, blah, blah. Look, I'm not making, you know, like, custom thumbnails and shit like you. I'm not like a...
Yeah, I mean, again, so this is a small creator who is not really trying to do anything except share his, like, enjoyment of language learning, who's now, like, actually bullied off the platform.
Flop tuber or whatever. And I was like, yeah, forget about all that. Is this what you did? Because, like, I've been insulted enough times. I don't care, okay? Like, I don't care about the insults.
Like, do you care about the fact that somebody who was not in any way hurting anyone got apparently enough shit because of your engagement with his content and unqualified statements that basically call him a liar, that it actually led him to delete everything that he'd done. Like, that's fucked up. Because it does sound like he did that. And
I just want to get to the core of the matter of, is this all you did? Like, can I make my ALG dreaming Spanish?
So like, at first you call him a liar, and then you're like, why don't we talk? That's fucked up, actually. That's actually fucked up.
ALG to the best that I can in order to progress the best that I can, okay? I want to show you what's completely capable with this method if you follow it properly. And if there's optimizations to be had, I will take those optimizations.
Why didn't you make that fucking video? Why wasn't that the response? Why didn't you reach out to him like that then? Like Jesus.
So that's what I was digging into, and then there was no follow-up comments, and I figured, okay, well, that's pretty much it. But it turns out a couple of hours ago, he blew away his channel. If I click on that link, channel doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I know. This sucks. Like, he was reaching so hard for the slop that instead of just, like, reaching out to a guy that by his own admission was not in any way any kind of grifter, not hurting anyone, not trying to, like, sell people something, just, like, sharing his love of language learning, and now he's no longer on the channel because your ass called him a liar. When you yourself are saying, actually, maybe there are optimizations to be had. Maybe he's doing this better. And it's like, why didn't you just fucking say that then? That's fucked up, actually. But it is time to wrap up. Thank you for everyone who joined in. I hope you enjoyed the stream. And if you enjoyed the stream, you will be happy to know that it will be resuming on Friday at 4:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, unless there's some weird-ass fucking emergency message sent out. Oh, wait, that's the wrong thing. I was going to drop the YouTube, Discord link. Not the YouTube link, you're probably already there. Almost certainly, actually. Here we go, and let me just say, if you enjoy the stream and you would like to support me and help me continue doing this and just keep me going in general, I always appreciate contributions here at the link I am dropping in chat right now. It helps keep me going during an extremely rough time, and I know it's rough times for everyone, and I would not want anyone to feel at all pressured to do it if they can't, but if you can and you want to, it is always very much appreciated. Have a good night, and see you next